Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Mr. Luther Dupree Jr., Mr. Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Ralsano. Luther, let's get to it. Your boy had a hell of a weekend this week. Errol Spence, it's all yours.
Listen, man, Errol Spence, I told you the truth is back. He's the best welterweight in the division. He put on a great show. I mean, he was rusty, 17 months out the ring, but man, did he put a beating on Ugas. Busted his orbital bone, broken jaw. Ribs broke. I mean, he is brutal, and I can't wait for the big fight. The biggest fight in boxing, I don't care what Smoking Jim says, is Earl, the true Spence versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Look at this. He came in with some more tattoos that we didn't see the last time Smoking Jim, but look at the body work. Wow, Ugas didn't know what to do. That uppercut was vicious. Claudia, you always point it out. The uppercut 2 weeks in a row has done tremendous damage to the eyes and jaw. But Ugas caught him.
Ugas is tough.
Yeah, Ugas is tough. He's one of the toughest. He has the Cuban style. Didn't move, was really flat-footed in this fight. But look, when he knocked out that mouthpiece, wow. What was the referee doing? The mouthpiece goes, you're supposed to stop it. Errol Spence came back in that same round, but the seventh round, the punishment, Claudio, the body work. Can any welterweight stand up to that? Now, he was catching shots because sometimes he relaxes on his defense.
Right.
But if he can take Bud Crawford's power, I feel sorry for Bud. Nobody's going to take this punishment at welterweight. Nobody.
And you know what?
Ooh,
Ugas, I think, is going to gain more popularity / respect after this fight because
popularity,
of the way.
I don't know. He'll gain respect. I don't know about popularity.
People are going to want to see him fight.
Well, face, that face is making its round way to the internet. I
know.
Whoa,
he had the puffy eye and everything.
Oh,
he fought. He wanted to
look at that. Oh, looked like the man.
He looked like Lubin.
No, he looked,
Maybe a
Lubin
little worse.
looked a little worse than that.
Yeah.
But that was bad.
Your thoughts on the fight before I give
Here
my
comes
opinion.
the hate.
Well, first of all, Ugas got more losses than he had escape attempts. Hey, listen, after hearing Earl Spence interview, I know we ain't gonna lose him to a rap career. This man makes Joe Louis sound like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Geez.
Listen, Earl Spence's dad was Jamaican. And the Jamaicans are known for having 3-4 jobs. But Earl Spence only works once a year, so he must take after his mom. First of all, the man was out on his feet.
Who?
I thought he was Prince Charles or the girl that Baumgartner hit. He was out on his feet.
I didn't see
the
that.
referee saved him. Listen, first of all, Ugas seen a lot of murders in Cuba, so he eased up on him. The referee saved him. This ain't amateur boxing. Professional boxing, you wait till the action slows down before you pick up the mouthpiece.
The action did stop.
No, it stopped. You saved. Spence got saved from a knockout. He was out on his feet.
He was not.
Totally.
He took those
ropes.
punches.
But
knockdown.
was you guys surprised how much bigger Ugas was than Spence? I was shocked about that.
He's a big
I
welterweight.
was shocked about how seeing the size
The eye
difference.
test, yep.
Listen, Earl Spence calls himself the truth.
He
When's
is.
When's he going to speak it? The reason he hasn't been fighting Crawford, he wanted a 70-30 split.
No,
so that
that's
means you
not
don't want to
why.
fight.
Hopefully, Jim, you're not going to sit here and start disrespecting the truth. He
That's
just
true.
came back, car accident, torn retina, came back with a great fight. You come with this garbage,
And
Jim.
he looked like a janitor in the post-fight interview.
No, he didn't. He ain't look like a janitor to me.
Yeah. Ugas was in the pre-fight. Ugas
He
was
had
all
his own
clean
gear.
and
You know what
short,
he had on?
and
He
here
had his-
comes Spence.
He had his own Earl Spence gear on. I respect that.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's it. Yeah. He owns that.
Look like
That's his
cartoon
gear.
characters.
Yeah, that's his gear. That's his gear.
And then he came in looking like Big Bird when he came in with that fur hoodie on. Didn't he? Didn't he look like Big Bird?
He looked like the real deal to me.
I
he
like
looked
the
like
Dallas
man
Cowgirls. That was the only good thing about
I knew he was
it.
going to say something like
Of
that.
course, you would say that.
I tell you what I...
What about
But
the
last thing, the referees never should have stopped the fight. It's a world championship
First of all,
fight.
the referee didn't. The doctor stopped the fight, Jim.
Well,
Get your facts right.
He shouldn't have stopped
What?
it.
The man couldn't see.
Well,
You wanna
he only
lose
got
his
two
eye?
eyes. He
You
only
wanna
got
lose-
two
No, he had
eyes.
one.
You want to lose
had
one
one
eye?
eye.
He had one eye.
Well,
He only
had
had
the
one
other
eye
one.
that he could see at.
This is world championship
And
fight.
he
had
did let him
the
go
other
the
eye.
second time.
He
did
let him
check
go.
it. They did
Yeah,
check it.
yeah, they
Did
let
you see his eye, Jim?
Yeah, they let
Did you
Spence
see
go
his
with
eye,
all
Jim?
them low blows.
No,
yeah,
there was no.
but he
there
do
was
go
no
to the
low
body
blows.
good.
He goes to
He
the
does
body.
go to the body
And what do
good.
we know about Crawford? He don't like it to the body.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
yeah,
now
we
you
don't.
threw him a softball,
He also
man.
don't
You
like
said he
30%.
liked it with
the body.
He also don't like 30%.
Jim, first of all,
True that.
the
That's
truth
true
is,
that.
when they met, he said, "I'm going to clean up my side of the street, get all 3 belts, and then I'm taking yours."
It took him
That's
3
what's
days
happening.
to say that.
He said it from the very beginning.
He didn't.
He said it
he
from the
didn't
very
put that
beginning,
together.
Jim. Jim, please. You can't even give him credit for stopping Ugas, who's never been
Were
stopped
you
his whole
impressed at
career.
all?
Huh?
Were you impressed at all?
With somebody with 5 losses? No. Come on, man.
But you have to- first of all,
Ugas
you
look
know-
like he could be your older brother.
Please.
He old as heck, Lou.
Listen,
Still
he's
fighting.
35, and he's still
You know
and
he ain't
still fights.
35. You know
He's a
he.
young
Would you
guy.
bet money? Would you bet money that he's only 35?
That's what it said
Okay.
on the TV screen. I'm going with it. But listen, 35, and you know he's had some bad losses. Sean Porter, he whooped Sean Porter's behind, and they took it from him. He had a number of those losses because he's from Cuba. He wasn't getting the benefit of the doubt. No, he's not a 5-loss fighter. He's much better than that. Right behind Bud Crawford and Errol Spence is the Ugas.
Has there ever been a
is the
slower
Thurmans.
fighter out of Cuba?
Jim, he showed heart, and you can't,
Is
you
he
can't
slow?
give him that.
Were you-
He showed heart. He retired Pacquiao last year. You know, he's
Oh
made
my
great.
goodness! Social Security's retired.
Hey.
AARP retired Pacquiao.
I think that when I, like I did with Fundora, I just made some lists. Okay. I like the uppercuts. He was accurate at the uppercuts.
Yeah.
Good body shots. I'm talking about
Great body
Spence,
shots,
right?
great.
Now, what I didn't like was Ugas's defense on the uppercuts. Instead of doing this, where he should have done, put that hand here to soften that blow. He kept doing the ear muffs.
He
And
didn't
he
want to
kept
get hit in
catching.
that face,
Well,
Claudio.
but he should have. Am I right, Jim?
You're right.
With the uppercut, that's one thing to defend.
Yeah, and then he would have got
pop
hit in
it
that
up.
eye again. He was trying to cover up those
Well,
eyes at that point.
Then do this. This
You
way
don't
you
wanna
cover
lose
that
that eye,
eye.
Claudio.
This way you cover that eye. Okay, instead of doing this, where you get hit in the chin. I thought Ugas could, his
we
corner.
could all
should
say
have
that we
told
don't got when we don't got the truth blasting our ribs,
Now the
breaking
one
ribs
thing
and
though,
eye sockets.
yeah, but now the one thing about Spence that he has to watch out for. Now in baseball, I'm big on weight shift, huge on weight shift because you're using your body, using your hands. But if you notice, when he got caught, especially, he'll lean in. There's a difference between a lunge and a weight shift in baseball. A lean and a weight shift in boxing, there's a difference. I think he leans in, leaves himself open. He can get caught, like he did get caught. Now, again, I think Spence did a great job. He was very, he was busy. He was accurate for the most part. He swung and missed sometimes.
Out on
Okay.
his feet.
Well, the ropes didn't save him.
He
on that
wasn't
time.
out on his
But
feet.
if
He
Crawford
got
hits
hit.
him, if Crawford, and it's going to happen, if Crawford hits him like that, I don't know if he's going to withstand that punch. Now, again, the only thing I say negative about Spence is I don't want to see the lean. I'd rather see the weight shift, and he opens himself up, and Crawford may catch him. Now, Ugas did a fantastic job, I think, of showing a lot of heart. Did the best he could. He was just outclassed. You know, Spence was better. And like you just said, you have Crawford, you have Spence, and then you have Ugas. Just like I said, after the fight with Wilder Fury, you have Fury Wilder and everybody else.
You were wrong there too.
We're going to get to that. But now, a fight that's it. There's no more talk. It has to happen. Mayweather says he wants to represent and promote Crawford. There's some other people say they want to represent. This has to happen. Period. End of story.
I agree. Bud Crawford, there's no excuses. Make the deal. Whatever you have to do, make the deal. It's the biggest fight, more money than you've ever made in your career. Step up and make the fight with Errol Spence. No excuses. If it doesn't happen, I'm calling Bud a duck.
It's going to be your highest paid.
I mean, this
purse,
is a legacy fight, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yes,
you look
yeah.
at his resume, it doesn't
Well,
have a
Earl
lot of
never
good
made
guys.
money. Earl ain't
We're not
making-
doing this pocket
No,
watching,
you just
Jim.
brought it up.
I just said
that
it's
it's the
go-
most money Bud made.
I said
Earl
it will.
ain't no
It'll be,
rich guy.
it'll be the best money both of them made,
Okay,
Jim.
all right,
What are you
we'll put that
talking
out.
about?
It's the
What
number
I'm
one
saying,
fight that
Earl
people are
Spence
talking
already
about.
is calling him out. Bud Crawford needs to sign the contract
He ain't
and
gonna
the fight.
sign for 30%. That's what he
I'm-
called him
Jim,
out for.
you don't know-
70,
you're not
30.
in the negotiations, and neither am I.
That's what
I
Earl
Jim,
Spence
he
said.
even said he was joking. That's not even
He
realistic.
was joking?
Yeah,
What
he
kind of
said
joke
it.
is that?
He said, "I was just playing."
He's stand-up comedian now with that one, huh?
Come
that
on,
was
man.
a joke.
You know that's not going to happen. 60-40.
Yeah, 60-40,
You know, that I
yeah.
can see that happening. But whatever it is, it's going to be more than either one of them made. Make the fight. This is something the fans
It's
need
a
to
pride
see.
thing. too.
50-50.
It's a pride thing.
It's not going to be 3 belts,
Yeah.
packing the
Well,
Dallas
the
Arena with
WBA
50,000
the
people.
WBA already stripped
Pay-per-view.
one. The WBA
What are
already
you talking
stripped one
about?
belt.
What?
Yeah, that's why he was fighting for it. Didn't they strip one?
No, they did not strip Earl Spence.
I would have.
No, they stripped. First of all, Jim, let me get your history right. They stripped Keith Thurman, and that's why he lost the belt. And then Manny Pacquiao beat Thurman, and then Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao.
I think they
This is the
stripped.
fight.
I
They did
remember
not
them
strip.
stripping.
No,
That's how Thurman got the belt.
Spence never got stripped. All right, we're not even
Let
talking
me
about
ask you this.
Thurman.
The most talked about fight right now, without question, is Crawford against Spence. Now, I always use
Fight
the
that
term.
Spence don't want.
Well, what I always say is it a crossover fight? Okay, any fight that Sugar Ray Hagler was a crossover fight. Sugar Ray Hearns was a crossover fight. What I mean by that, people
It
who aren't
should
really
be.
interested in boxing are going to be interested.
Yeah.
Number one, is this a crossover fight? And will this be the biggest fight in boxing this year?
Well, first of all, Spence only fights once a year, so we're talking
Jim,
2023. Yeah, it'll be the biggest.
has to happen
It'll
this
be
year.
the biggest fight in 2023. Spence ain't fighting again this year.
You don't think
once
he's
a
gonna
year.
fight- you don't think
Once a
he's
year.
gonna fight-
Takes after his mom, not his Jamaican dad.
Jim, there you go with your craziness. Listen, the fight is going to happen this year. It's the biggest fight. There's no other fight
Is it a
in boxing.
crossover fight?
Yes, it should be a crossover fight. I mean, Bud should have been there to promote it, to get the hype, step into the
Does the
ring.
year
He didn't-
end in
He was
December?
too busy tweeting.
Does the year end in December?
Jim,
They're gonna sign before December.
Jim, it will happen this year if Bud Crawford does the right thing.
Let's make a bet on that.
Hey, we can make a bet. You
A
done
Snickers bar.
lost a
A
you done-
Snickers bar.
you done lost a lot to me, Jim. You want to keep it going, buddy? Listen,
Who do you like in the fight?
that's a 50-50 fight.
It is, yeah.
Because both of them have, great skills, but both of them have some flaws. We've seen Bud Crawford hurt numerous times to the body. We've seen Gamboa hurt him
Yeah.
badly to the body. We've seen, we've seen the Green Machine hurt him. We've seen Bud hurt. We saw Sean Porter have
I was
success.
just say he had some. He did
and
pretty good.
we see Errol Spence. He got rocked a couple times in this fight, mainly because he dropped his mouthpiece and was, shit he thought he heard. So they both have flaws, but I give a slight advantage to Errol Spence because he's bigger, he goes to the body more, and I haven't seen him hurt a lot. He has the better jab, and against Kell Brook, that jab swelled up Bud Crawford's eye.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Before Crawford got him. So he doesn't do well against a guy with a great jab. So we'll see. It should be a great fight, though.
I'm with you all the way. Now, the one thing we talk about all the time, we talk about football, we talk about pitching and baseball. I want to see how they do against good competition. We saw what Errol Spence did against a pretty good fighter. We saw him not just dominate. We saw him when he got rocked. We saw him come back that same round. Okay,
Good fight. We're talking about.
Ugas is tough.
Oh, okay.
He's
Oh,
tough.
him.
Jim, you done forgot already. That CTE
But
is
the
getting
only
bad,
thing, though,
Jim.
Jim, the only thing I'm saying, okay, one thing to get hit by Ugas, it's another thing to get hit by Crawford. And I do think,
I think
he
his
leaves
power's over.
himself
I think
open.
his power's
and he leads.
exaggerated.
How many times have you said that they lead with their face? And in a sense, I'm saying he does lead with his head when he leans in like that. Your thoughts on Spence Crawford?
Crawford's gonna blow him out. You know what I mean? Spence would be. Listen, it depends
You've been
on.
hating on Spence
legacy.
his whole
First of
career.
all, he only got 28 fights. He's almost ready to retire.
He's 32.
You know what I mean?
He got
Old
years
32.
left.
Old 32. Listen, this is a guy that, if for his legacy, there's no way I fight Bud Crawford. Fighters know
has to.
fighters. That's why he wants 70%. He know he can't beat Bud
Jim,
Crawford.
stop the pocket watching, man.
You don't think he has to fight him?
Pardon me?
You talk about legacy. They have to fight each other.
Well, Floyd Mayweather made a career out of picking and choosing. So I mean, he can do
Jim,
that too.
now you want to slander Floyd, who's fought more
fought
world
everybody.
champions than anybody. 25
Well,
world
it's
champions.
not his fault he fought this guy on the way down. He fought
They were
everybody.
older. They were older
Yeah,
because
old guys.
it just when he came around, they
Yeah,
were
old
older.
guys.
Destroyed him.
Did you get an autograph from Smokey Robinson when he gave you the jacket, or you just? I like that.
Listen, Jim, you still didn't answer the question.
Motown.
You still didn't answer the question. Who's gonna? You said he's gonna stop him.
Oh, Crawford could do anything he wants to Spence. He might punish him for 10 rounds before he put him away. Spence is tailor-made for Crawford.
Another L on your record. Okay.
His styles, maybe. Okay. I'm still not sure yet, and I know
And
we're going to cover
Crawford's
it
gonna
once
be
it
bigger than
happens.
Spence.
He's
in the
not
ring.
going to be bigger. He's a
Well,
130
Spence gonna have the
pounder.
bigger tattoo. His whole back is tatted.
Jim, height-wise, they're the same, but Earl's a bigger guy. He could walk around 170, 180. He's just a naturally
180?
bigger guy than
Now you're a
been.
nutritionist. You're a nutritionist.
No, I'm saying he
in
has
the
a
ring, he
nutritionist
looks
now.
small against Ugas.
Ugas is one of the biggest welterweights in the division, Jim. Put your
Bud-
glasses
and
on.
Bud Crawford's going to be bigger.
No, he's
than he
not.
was
Now,
around.
Bud Crawford's not going to be bigger.
He was
When's
bigger
the
than
last
Sean
ti-
Porter. He
Sean
looked
Porter's
bigger
one of
than
the
Sean Porter.
smaller welterweights, height-wise.
No, I'm talking about size, width, back.
Frame.
And
Yeah.
Porter was wider than Crawford. Look at the fight again.
His tattoos made his back look narrow.
All I know, he showed great power. He showed a great chin against Ugas.
And he showed he had no idea where he was.
But he came back that round.
Yeah,
He
thanks to
came
the
back
ref.
that round.
Yeah, the referee saved
The
him.
referee
You give
didn't
him any
save it. The
credit at all.
referee didn't step in for a while after he got hit by a couple. They still fought, and then once there was a break, the referee got the
When he
mouthpiece.
bounced off the ropes, the ref grabbed
No, he
him.
didn't. No, that's not true.
What did you like about Spence?
Well,
He's a
what
hater.
what I liked about
Anything.
him,
He's a hater.
what I liked about him is he finally fought. I mean, I wasn't.
In the ring, what did you
I
like?
wasn't convinced. Listen, the guy got a lot of talent. This was one of the most talented amateur fighters to ever come out. He could have really fought for. About his 10th, 12th fight, he should have been fighting for a title. That's how great an amateur career he had. He milked it as long as he can.
Jim, he got 3
He
belts.
can't get a
man.
payday
Just-
outside of Dallas, Texas.
That's a big payday there.
He's
I mean,
50,000 people there, Jim.
that's
Well-
the new Vegas almost. Would
Well,
you say? Lou?
50,000 people, and he still made about $1 million.
You don't know how much he made,
How
Jim.
much do you know?
I know it
You-
was, I
you
know
know
it was more than
everything else.
millions,
You-
but I'm not a pocket watcher, Jim.
Well,
Would you say Dallas now is almost becoming the new Vegas?
No.
no, not yet. Not yet.
I'm talking about arena, 50,000. Where are you going to put
That's
50?
nice, but
well, yeah, I
but-
guess the
but-
Raiders.
Yeah.
You need New York, Vegas, or Los Angeles. That's where the.
But
big
But
Dallas-
money
50,000 is 50,000.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean
huge.
that's great. That's great. I mean, I would fight there too. You know, in his hometown. You know, close to his therapist.
Oh, Jim.
Well, another fight. And well, first of all, we hope it happens because that has to happen.
I ain't
Period,
gonna
end of
hold my
story.
brother. I ain't gonna talk for 6 months at Sewickley about it.
Right. Me and my dad. All right. Well, like I said, we hope that it does happen. Isaac Cruz, 23-2-1 and 16 knockouts, scored a punishing 5th-round TKO against former champ Yuri Boy that's Campos. Yuri Gamboa, 35-18. It was 4 knockdowns, Luther. You know, boxing's a hell of a sport to find out when you don't have it anymore, and Gamboa found out he didn't have it anymore.
Listen,
in that
can
fight.
we fire the doctors who keep giving Gamboa approval to have these fights? I mean, that was a brutal beating that he took.
it's bad for
Isaac
boxing.
Cruz was just throwing haymakers left and right. You know, Gamboa went down 4 times in 2 rounds. There's no way that should have been a co-main event. I mean, Isaac Cruz, man, he's tough. I mean, we saw it against Gervonta Tank Davis. The pit bull did what he did, was throwing haymakers. He wasn't throwing those haymakers against Gervonta like that,
That's right.
but he looked great. I mean, he got that strength, that dry wall hanging strength. I mean, he's just strong, throwing hooks from every angle. Very exciting fighter. He's talking about Ryan Garcia
gonna
next.
say that.
He's talking. I want to see it. I don't think Ryan Garcia wants to see it though.
Luther, again, styles make fights, but I think Garcia would be trouble for Isaac. I really do, because I think he's going to swing and miss a lot. And I think Garcia, once he's sharper, he can't wait another year and a half to fight. He's going to have to fight him, I would say, sometime this year. But I think he's got to be careful with Cruz. I'll liken it again to Lennox Lewis, Tua. He has to be good offensively, but he has to focus 12 rounds, because if not, Tua's going to catch him. Cruz can catch him. Garcia is going to have to be mentally in shape and sharp, and I think he will be. I think it'll be a nice fight.
I think it'd be a dangerous fight for Ryan Garcia.
Oh, yeah,
he
when
has
you throw-
his chin
yes,
high,
yes,
way too much.
yes.
You know, he wasn't cutting off the ring, and Cruz was going to be coming at him.
He's going to have to be better about
He's
that.
going to have to be a lot
Styles
better.
make fights. I
you
think
know.
he's going to be trouble for Cruz. But Cruz can catch him.
I think Cruz could get him.
Oh, yeah,
I think
he can
Cruz
catch
could knock him out. I'd go with Isaac Cruz. I just
Ooh,
wasn't
okay.
impressed with Ryan Garcia's last performance. He hasn't been in the ring much. I saw a lot of ring rust.
Yes.
And he looked very
You
limited.
can't do that against Cruz.
Against Cruz.
But I would like to see it.
I'm glad he didn't fight Cruz this fight.
Yeah,
They were
no,
talking about it. He
you're
would have
right.
gotten knocked out like Gamboa.
And what I say, he's going to have to fight him maybe in about 4 or 5 months, and he's going to have to be sharp. He's going to have to be dedicated, and I think it'd be a nice fight. Your thoughts, first of all, on Cruz Gamboa, and then Cruz Ryan Garcia.
Well, I'm not surprised because Cruz is the reason why Mayweather fired Tank. I mean, you know, this is a pit bull that moved the Tank all around, backed him up. Tank ran from
There
him.
you go. He
This
had
is a
one
guy-
hand.
This is a guy, I was very impressed with the combinations he was able to throw inside in this particular fight. If I was, and I really like the pit bull Isaac Cruz, if I was advising him, I would advise him to stay away from Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia would put a whooping on him like he never had.
Because of the style, right?
50% Ryan Garcia would left hook this guy to death. Ryan Garcia could get out of bed and whoop Isaac Cruz. It's a bad matchup
he couldn't
for
do it
him.
against,
he would do the
the
same
Garner
thing.
guy.
He would do the same thing with Tank Davis. Short fighters or a bad matchup for Ryan Garcia. He puts it on these guys. Stay away from him. Keep his name out your mouth. You're talking about a Hall of Famer, man.
Well, he's a
So,
Hall of Famer
I
now.
would like
Just
to-
because he got a Gatorade commercial doesn't make him a Hall of Famer.
I would like to see Isaac Cruz continue because I like the way this guy throws combinations on the inside. He don't allow guys to hold him or anything else. And I like what he did against Tank Davis. You see, Tank didn't ask for no rematch.
But again,
didn't need
styles
to, he
make
won.
fights. Do you think that Garcia wouldn't let him inside and really outbox him and outclass him?
Exactly. Garcia would
But he's got to watch.
destroy Isaac Cruz. It would be something like, it would be bad.
No.
But
No,
am I right in
that's
liking it
completely
to Lennox
incorrect. That's
and Tua?
fake news.
Am I right in liking it to Lennox and Tua as far as mentally? You can't get careless with a puncher is what I'm basically trying to say.
He could
No,
wake up and beat
No,
him.
I completely disagree with both you guys. Lennox Lewis, you're talking about a guy who was dedicated to his craft, great jab,
Poor chin.
always looked great in the ring. You know, he had that poor chin.
glass
That's
in
the
his
only
chin
thing
than
I
the
see
chin.
about
Against
Lennox.
Rockman,
They
again,
they
he
both
let
have
down a little
support.
bit. He got caught.
Oliver
He didn't
McCall,
against
Oliver
Oliver
McCall
McCall.
caught him too.
More glass in his
that's the
chin.
only thing I see.
That's my
they
point.
got weak
You
chins.
cannot,
They had chins that could
but
be
you
tested.
cannot lose. Remember, I said he has to be drained physically, but mentally. He's got to be focusing against Rockman and Tua. Not Tua. Oliver McCall for that split second, and that's when he got caught.
And that's heavyweight boxing, so
Right.
you can, you know,
No,
any
but that's
shot,
what I'm-
any shot
That
can
was glass
take
chin.
you out.
That was glass chin.
But he got stuck. Those guys.
When
can
did
hit.
Evander Holyfield ever go to sleep? In a
He had a
Yeah,
better
he had
chin.
the greatest. He might have had the greatest chin
He had a
in
better chin,
boxing.
yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a
so-
cruiserweight
so
that
you-
was taking
you
punishment
agree
at
that
heavyweight.
Lennox Lewis had glass
He didn't have the
chin?
best chin. He didn't have
He
a
had more
glass
glass
chin.
in his
He didn't
chin
have a
than a
glass chin.
chandelier.
He only
Yeah.
got knocked out twice. too.
Well, he got out
And
of
he took
boxing.
punish- and
he
he
got
took
out of
shots.
boxing at the right time.
But
He was old. He
The
had
Russians
dominated-
are coming.
He had
The Russians
dominated,
are coming.
and he dominated that fight and beat that
He
guy
was
before he left.
behind on points
He
when
stopped the
him.
Klitschko before
On
he retired.
cuts,
I don't want to
on
hear that.
cuts.
Yeah,
But
facts are facts. He won that fight.
The
but
worst
you are looking
Klitschko.
forward to Cruz against
Ooh,
Garcia.
yes,
I am
yes,
too.
because I am because I think Ryan Garcia goes out.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
I
I
think Goose
think-
should stay away from that fight. Garcia's not ready. You know, he did not look good in his last fight. He needs.
He
needs
won
another
every
training.
round. Wouldn't you agree?
That guy was ready.
Did he win- did he
should
win
have put
every
that.
round?
That was a showcase fight.
Did he
was
win
supposed
every
to knock
round?
that guy down.
Against
The guy
with
wasn't
2 losses.
throwing.
This guy got twice as many losses. Is the guy that Garcia fought? That Earl Spence. You love that Earl Spence
we're
fight.
not even
Guy
talking-
got
we're not
all
talking
kind of
about
losses.
that.
I
Draw.
think
Robbery.
I think this will be a blowout. I think Ryan Garcia wins the unanimous decision.
thank you.
I think he outpoints and
Again.
outclasses.
And this proves why I have a much better record than you guys in predicting fights.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about Conor Benn and his latest win, and we're going to see how far he's come and can he go any further. Right back with the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. Number 5 ranked welterweight Conor Benn, 21-0 with 14 knockouts. He KO'd Chris Van Heerden, who's 28, 3-1 with 12 knockouts. Luther, it was a dominating fight, like we pretty much figured it
Yeah.
would be, even though you picked Van Heerden.
No, stop that.
But is he ready now for the bright lights? Conor
I'm
Benn.
sick of Carter Ben fighting these C-level and D-level guys. He just ran through Chris Harrington. I mean, that guy's, you know, he's just in there collecting paychecks. Carter Ben feared nothing coming back. That guy was on his back foot. He can't fight going backwards. Just got caught. You know, and Ben, I like his aggressiveness, but he leaves himself open quite a bit. You know, but very aggressive, good power. But this was not a test. He has to step it up. I heard him calling out Adrian Broner and Amir Khan. No, you got to step it up and fight somebody who's not a C-level guy just because they're an old name. You know, but he needs to step up better than this guy. This was a horrible fight.
You mentioned Broner, and we're going to talk about who we feel Ben
at
should
that.
fight next. Amir Khan got robbed the other day. Somebody stole his wristwatch. He put it on Twitter, and he may have to come back and fight again to get that. Jim, we're just
He
kidding.
picked the right one.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Amir Khan.
Right.
Let me take
He
his
didn't do
watch.
that against Tyson. Okay, your thoughts on Conor Ben, this fight, and who would you put him in against next?
Well, I want to check with Luther one day and find out why all these black guys got tattoos all over their bodies, even over the across the barn. Come on, somebody got to let me know.
Tattoo, Jim.
Somebody got to let me know.
Tattoo.
You got to be the whole body. But listen,
Look
this
at
is
that.
this is a great fighter, Conor Ben. Listen.
Great fighter?
If you
Whoa.
want to be productive, 3, 4, 5 fights a year, you got to fight guys who's available. Why
Setups.
try to go after somebody like Earl Spence is only going to fight once a year? You got to go after the Broners and the Khans,
Setups.
people that's ready to
Setups.
fight. He wants to
Setups,
fight
Jim.
in 3, 4 months. You got to fight somebody that's available. You
Yeah.
can't sit around and wait on these guys to
Jim, he's
pass
fighting.
a drug
Is
test,
he fighting C-level guys?
pass a suicide
Jim,
test.
is he fighting C-level guys or not?
He's fighting professional
C-level
Let me ask you,
fighters.
professional
Luther,
boxers.
we talk about it. I know we disagree on it, but there is a pattern that Jim and I like to take to bring a fighter up.
And
Now,
that's why the sport isn't
no.
as big as it has.
Would you like to
'Cause these
see him
fights are
fight
marinating.
Broner or Khan? I would, and it'll get his name
No.
out there. It'll
Khan-
get his name out there that much more.
Khan just got knocked out by a guy older than him.
But do you need
Why
a
is he
name like
fighting
that on
Conor?
your
No.
ledger?
No, I mean it's an old guy. No.
He can't fight Spencer Crawford right now, so he's got to fight
There's
somebody.
plenty, there's
to get
plenty
his
of
point.
other fighters.
Did you-
There's
right.
There's a key. I'd like to see him fight Keith Thurman.
But is that risky though?
Well,
Of course
Keith
it's
ain't gonna fight
Ricky.
him.
Of course
Keith
it's
ain't
Ricky.
gonna fight him.
But Keith Thurman has a good name. That's a good name.
Yes, it
Will
is.
he
That'd be a
fight?
nice
Maybe
fight.
try to get a Danny Garcia on your record.
But is it
He needs to
safer to
step it
fight
up.
Broner and
This
make
ain't make a wish, Lou. You're not going to be able to. Keith Thurman ain't going to
Fight,
fight
you
this
just want him to
kid.
keep fighting C-level guys. I
But
want him to step up
he's
and
going to
comment.
fight somebody available. Keith Thurman's not available.
Why is he not
Crawford's
available?
Because he ain't going to fight Ben, and you know it.
That's a good
If
point.
the
I agree
money's
with you.
right,
They
the
gonna-
fight
He
will
was
be
saying he
made.
should have been fighting Crawford. I'm sorry. He should have been in that fight this weekend between Spence or Ugas.
Yeah, that's
Thurman's
what he
been
said he
saying
wanted.
that.
He's been saying he wanted that.
Yeah, but he's been saying
because
that.
they cut his money in his ponytail.
Oh,
he
gosh.
ain't
If
asked
I
for
were
his-
managing
You
Ben,
keep
I
having
would
setups, right?
I would
A
fight.
setup.
I would fight Broner, and
Yeah,
then
me
the
too.
winner of the Spence Crawford then sneak in that.
No, there's no way he's getting in there because if you look at the rankings, there's a lot of guys ahead of him.
He's
Why
ranked number
can't we-
5th.
Oh, you got to be top 10.
Why can't he Virgil Ortiz?
Who's going to bring more money to the table?
I'm
If
just
he
saying-
knocks out Broner or beats Broner, it's going to elevate his name, is what I'm trying to say. And then Crawford or Spence, wait a minute, Crawford or Spence is not going to want to fight the number 2 guy, the number 3. They're going to say, let's get Conor Ben. It's a business move. You see what I'm trying to say? Ben's going to want to fight Broner, look good, move up to fight the winner of
Broner out
Crawford.
of jail?
Broner,
He is not.
Broner
He's out.
was
He's out,
listen,
no.
man.
He's out? He's free, man?
Broner's talking about coming back. There's videos all over there that he was drunk at the Errol Spence fight.
That's who you
Broner
wanna
had to
fight.
Yeah, of course.
Is Crawford Spence going to? Are they both going to come out of that fight banged up?
Can I
Yes,
ask you a
they're not
question?
going to want to fight somebody good. I mean, I don't want to say good.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
How many years did Mayweather's daughter get for that stabbing? Nobody can tell me. No, I'm just asking.
We're not even talking about. I don't think she got any time. 0. The same time you got. But all your fake news.
You understand where I'm coming from. Spence and Crawford are not going to beat the hell out of each other. And like Jim said about Canelo, who do you want him to fight? Number 1 guy all the time. They're going to say, you know what? Not that Ben's a soft touch, but he's not number 2, 3, or 4. Let me fight the number 5 guy who's rising, who we think we
You
can
all
beat.
like setups. I don't. He needs
Not
to step
talking
it
about
up.
the winner.
You want to keep seeing him fight the Van Heritens, knocking these guys out in 2 rounds.
Fight Broner, and then get the
Setups.
winner
You
of-
all like setups. I don't. I want to see these guys get in there and mix it up. That's what made boxing great.
Oh,
Guys
yeah,
were
I understand
23
that.
and 24 fighting for titles. Now these guys got to be 28 and then they're ready. I don't like that. We need to push this
Is
sport
is Ben
forward.
ready for a title shot right now against Spencer
Of
Crawford?
course not. But he's ready
what I'm
for the
saying.
next tier.
Right.
He's ready for an Ugas, a Keith Thurman. That's where you would.
I
see
would-
he's
I
at.
agree with
and
you
he's
with
young
Thurman.
enough. So if you take an L now, you can still build your way back up.
But well, his promoters say we don't want to risk
Uh.
it against Thurman because he could lose. Okay, if he wins, it's gonna be big time. But if he loses, then we start off at square one. Let him go after Broner, who has a name, more eyes. Then let's get the winner of Crawford Spence. Am I wrong?
We need these better fights.
Gee.
This is why UFC has that pushback. You see these top fighters, young fighters, fighting constantly. It's not this. Oh, we got to move them and
It's
let
a
this fight
business move.
marinate. No.
And they don't fight a lot of fights
Does
in
UFC,
either.
have
He
does
hasn't.
UFC have a great business model? They have a pay-per-view every couple
But
weeks.
is it
The
because
top
they just
fighters
beat, they
are
just beat the
fighting
hell
each
out
other.
of each other though? They don't care who's fighting. They just want to see people clubbing each other. Boxing is more name driven. Am I wrong?
You're right. She had a knife at Take's neck. That's why he left. Listen. First of all, Ben is being, coached by his
Setups.
dad. He's fighting. Listen,
Setups. He's
Mike
fighting
Tyson
setups.
fought 13 fights in 1 year.
And
You
those-
got to
those were all
fight guys
setups.
who's available. Fighters fight. It makes you sharp.
Sharp,
It
yeah.
makes you better. You know what I mean? The windmill.
You just-
Harry Greb fought 45 times in 1 year. Earl Spence
We're not
fights
talking-
once a year.
We're not
But
talking
y'all want him
about
to
that.
go after. Listen, it has to be like you talked about the WBC having mandatories. Until you have enforced mandatories, continue to fight guys that's available. If I was a fighter, I would want
You
to
like
fight every
setups.
3-4
Yeah,
months.
you like setups.
No, I like to
don't like
fight.
setups.
I
You
like to fight.
setups.
I like
You
to fight. I'm a
setups.
prize fighter. I
that
want to
was not
fight.
that was not a prime time
How
fight.
can I
You
afford
knew-
my tattoos?
You knew Conor Ben was going to stop this guy within 4 rounds. Soon as it was signed. Those aren't good fights for him. That's not
But
helping
he's
him.
he's busy.
Yes.
He's busy.
His
he's
name's getting out
his
there.
name's getting out there, and he's accumulating
Setups.
wins and money.
Setups.
And his promoters are
And
making
what
money.
happens when he fights a guy who's above a sea level? He could get exposed.
Like who, for example?
That's
For
why I don't want to
example.
fight Thurman just yet.
Yeah, for example.
Fight a guy like
Thurman,
Broner who's going to show
Ugas,
points.
Garcia,
Luther, if
all
he
these
fights
guys.
Broner, there's going to be a few rounds where Broner looks good, and
we
he's
don't
going
have,
to challenge.
Broner hasn't thrown a punch since
But
that.
he can promote a fight.
Yes, he
There's
can.
going to be
That's
money.
a good point.
Your boy,
And
that
it's the bright
crazy
lights,
dude,
too.
the crazy dude that just got knocked out. The dude with the big fro and crazy hair. He wanted
Blair
Broner.
Cobbs, Blair
Yeah,
Cobbs.
Yeah, Blair Cobbs, yeah.
yeah. He wanted Broner because they can sell tickets together.
No, the Blair Cobbs, he can sell a fight. He just can't fight a fight.
No, a fight.
One
that-
loss. You said he's young enough to come back after one loss.
Yeah,
Now
but-
you're flip flopping
No,
again.
I
But it
said
takes
But he
longer.
can't. He doesn't have the skills. I mean, you can see it. He can't fight off the back. Blair Cobbs
After one
got
loss, you
exposed.
could
He got exposed.
Well, he got exposed. Yeah, I'm with
Weak
you.
chin, not a good jab, not good defense.
You seen all that from one loss.
From that one fight. Yeah, he got a lot of work to do. He can talk it better than most of the other welterweights, but he can't fight it.
Now,
That's
a
for
fight
sure.
that I know Jim is excited about, or was excited about, WBC, IBO, super featherweight champ, Alicia Baumgartner.
Yes,
She beat a unanimous decision over former champ, Soledad Mathisi, who in her day was good, but that day is gone. But Baumgartner really dominated her. If we have some clips or pictures, I know Jim's going to want those up. But again, Luther, she's thrown her name in the mix. She's a great looking young lady. She's talented.
She's great
got a
on social
personality.
media.
She's great on social media.
She has a great look. I
She's
mean,
doing, no offense to Clarissa, but this is what Jim is talking
Yeah.
about with Clarissa, promoting yourself. And you want more eyes
Wow.
on you. And she's backing it up. Because
Yeah.
you can be a beautiful girl, but if you get punished, okay, she's beautiful, she can't fight. This girl can fight.
yeah,
that thing
that fight. Yeah, she looked great in the fight. You know, she's skilled. She showed everything. She was on a back foot coming forward, couldn't
Everything.
get hit. She's
Everything.
real flashy
Everything.
inside
Everything.
and outside the ring.
Everything.
Her and Michaela Mayer, that's a great fight that they're trying to build up to be the next top fight. Both, have great skills. Both look great. But I'm impressed. She put on a great show, and I mean, she's building herself. She's great on social media. She tweets a lot, Instagram, so
People
she's
know
keeping her
who
name
she
out
is.
there.
Yeah. I tell you what, Jim and Luther, I think, you may disagree, I think within 2 years, she's going to be the face of female boxing. And not her look is great, she can back it up, but also her personality. I just like her as a person, too. Obviously, she's a good-looking girl. Your thoughts on the total package
Yeah, the total package is there. I agree with you. She's going to be the face of boxing. You know, like I said, the best boxer I've ever seen maybe in my life is Clarissa Shields, but nobody wants to see her. She won't leave Detroit. Nobody wants
She's
to
in the UK.
Nobody
She
wants to
just
drink.
She just fought in the UK.
Nobody wants to,
Jim.
I knew you
All
were
right,
gonna say that, Lou.
nobody wants to
garbage.
drink the water in Flint. Look here, you know,
Nevertheless, she
you
just
know
fought in
she
the
was in
UK.
the UK. Nobody else knows that. But she still lives in Detroit. That's a small market for prize fighting. But I agree with you. Women's boxing was dead for a long time. It's starting to be on the rise. Or at Madison Square Garden, sold out. Got a main event
Yeah.
hit.
Amanda
And it's
Serrano.
not Clarissa Shields, but Clarissa Shields can do everything in the ring except for draw attention.
At
And
the end of the day,
Jim,
that's what it's all about.
it's
And what do they say in
marketing,
wrestling?
Jim.
What do they
It's
say in
all
wrestling?
about marketing.
Can he
Nobody
put,
wants to see
can
her,
he
yeah.
put hind ends
poorly
in the
marketed.
seats? Can he put butts in the seats in
That was-
wrestling?
that's it.
That's why you would have a particular. Bruno was a great wrestler,
That's it.
but why was he able to pack in for 12 years be a champion, which is unheard of,
Unheard
because he packed the house. Okay, I think this girl, but again, the management team has to say we really have something here. Let's have a meeting. Let's talk about how can we promote her? How can we get her out there even more? She's got the look. She has it physically. She has the mentality. She's a great girl.
Who?
Baumgartner.
Yeah,
The one
I
we were
agree
talking
with you.
about.
I agree with you. Yeah, I
Let's
agree.
get it
Not the
out
one
there.
you were
But I
slandering.
knew you
I
were. I
was
was
so
waiting. Whenever
crazy
he said
about
she didn't get out of Detroit, I was waiting for you to say something. But I think this girl has all the ability to checkmark all the boxes and be the face of women's boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little early to say
I-
that. but
I
she
said
could
in a
be
couple
one-
years.
She could be
In a couple
one
years.
of them.
In a couple years, Lou?
In a couple years,
The
she could be in the
face.
mix. She could be in the mix. We'll see.
I
She
would
has to
pay
back
to
it
see
up.
her. I would go wherever
Yep.
she's at and pay.
I bet you would.
Ringside.
I bet you would.
When you,
Ringside.
when you,
His voice would change. Go ahead, say it, Lou.
Beautiful women make me nervous. All that yelling would change, Jim.
Now, a fight that the anniversary is 37 years ago, and I still have no idea why my boy next to me doesn't think this is one of the greatest fights of all time. Tommy Hitman Hearns against marvelous
he hates
Marvin
Marvin Hagler, that's why.
April 15th, 1985. The first round was like rock'em sock'em robots. Okay?
They didn't wait. They didn't fill each other
This is-
out.
no,
they
this
were
is
just
two
coming.
hitters.
Look at this, man. These guys were just coming at it. Look at it. Every
Tommy.
punch. Mean intentions, man. Listen, Tommy Hearns just so long. If he had a chin, he would have been unfreaking stoppable. And Marvin
Yeah.
Hagler, I don't know why you hate him. Always in shape.
Oh,
Fought-
look at that shit.
Look at these
I know he
guys.
didn't have the greatest chin, Lou, but he took some shots. He didn't go down.
Yeah, his chin was glass.
Oh, I
he
don't know about that. He might have been out of it a little bit. He's still
he had
stood,
some
though.
highlight knockouts, and then he was on the end of some of them too.
Yeah.
Come on,
He
man.
threw, though.
But he threw. He could, you know,
And he backed up. Look
he
at it.
backed
Look at the
up.
footwork.
Footwork.
Tommy, if you're right, though, if he had a chin, he may have been the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
he had the
yeah.
reach, power.
I mean, just his height and his length at this weight division
Yeah.
is amazing, man. And Marvin Hagler is just a monster, marvelous.
Didn't
I
give
don't
a
know how
damn.
you
Went
don't
in.
like him, Jim. Everything about him, man. He wasn't flashy, but he gave you everything you wanted.
he
Great
cut
fights.
Hagler in this round.
Yeah.
Lou, Jim, your thoughts?
well,
Put your glasses on.
if I'm judging this fight,
Woo,
I give the
look at
first round an A or A minus. I give the second round a C, and I give the third round a D. Listen,
The greatest 3 rounds in boxing.
well,
Woo,
like
look at
again,
these guys getting
the-
it on.
The second round wasn't much, and they almost stopped it on Hagler in the third round because of the cut. when
But
he
they
knocked
didn't.
out. They didn't. They
And you got to
almost-
give him
Let it go.
credit.
They almost
I give the
stopped it.
ref
They
credit.
could've-
He let them fight. I
Well,
like
the
him. I
doctor,
forgot
the
his name.
doctor let him go because you know.
Look at that.
But there was
Look at that
there was
work.
everything, Jim.
He wasn't
There was-
gonna get no.
guys
He
going.
wasn't gonna get no
Look at him
prettier.
going.
He wasn't gonna
Luther,
get no
do
prettier.
you agree that there was some boxing involved and some brawling? There was
Round one.
inside,
There wasn't a lot
outside.
of boxing going
Round
on, but it
one.
was this.
Oh,
was a,
no,
this
Tommy
was a
tried to
modern
box a
modern.
little bit.
This
Tommy
was,
tried to
oh,
box a
look
little
at that,
bit.
right? This
You
was
see what I'm saying? There was a
modern.
taste
I
of
gave
everything,
the first
Lou.
round an A.
Lou,
The
there was
second
some
and third
brawling,
round
there was some
wasn't.
inside fighting, and look,
There
Hearns was trying to box him.
He was
See that?
trying, but
What did
Hagler
Hearns do in
drew him
round
into
2
a
or 3?
slugfest.
Nothing.
What'd you say?
He didn't do nothing in round 2 or 3.
He shot his load in that first
Oh,
round. It was
Will,
he
you
tried.
talking about a great fight, a great round.
Was it exciting?
It was a
People
great
were standing
3
up.
rounds of action, Jim.
People were standing up.
Well, I
What do
see
you
that
want
all
in the
the
fight,
time.
Jim?
I see that all
Were
the
people
time.
standing
You
up?
don't
Lou?
see that all the
Yeah, I
time,
see that
Jim.
all the time.
When? When's the
All the
last time
time.
you saw that?
All
When?
the
Luther,
Give me
time.
one
were
fight.
they up
They're
from the
all the
first?
time.
When?
All the
Luther,
time.
were they up from the first 10 seconds?
Exactly. They were
stood.
going.
I'm not talking about the fans.
Oh yeah, the fans were into it. You even look at it now. I get excited
Yeah,
watching that. What are you talking
how was
about?
they into it in the fourth round? Was they into it then?
Yeah,
Or they went
I
home
think
early?
no, they were
home
all
early?
waiting for an explosion. No,
Jim,
nobody felt that they got their. Everybody felt they got their
yeah,
money's worth.
3
For
rounds.
one
and
round.
The whole
The
fight.
3
What
rounds,
the
as long
Hearns,
as it
what the Hearns
lasts.
do in round 2 or 3?
He took a beating.
Oh,
He
yeah,
took a
yeah,
beating
he
and
was-
showed
he was
hard.
fighting off
And
his
what
back
did the
foot.
fans do when the fight was over?
Everybody
They went
was
crazy. They
standing,
went crazy.
clapping, cheering.
let me
How
just-
could you not like that
let me
fight,
just-
Jim?
37 years
How
we're
could you
still
not like
talking
that
about
Let me
fight?
just say this real quick. Marvin Hagler was an
How you
average
would've
fighter,
slandered this fight?
a
This is one of the
blue-collar
greats.
Yes,
fighter
blue-collar, he
who
was tough.
overachieved by
Okay.
beating up
You-
on fighters.
in your opinion.
Beating up on fighters who was 15, 20 pounds lighter than him. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Hearns, even John the Beast McGarvey had to move up. This man had a record of 62, 3-2. He lost to
great
Willie
record.
Monroe and Bobby Watts. Like I said, this is a guy.
Okay, he has
he-
boxing.
listen,
You're gonna have
he got-
some losses,
No,
Jim.
to Bobby Watts and Billy Monroe.
Hey, anybody
Listen.
can have an off night, Jim.
Listen,
This
he
is,
came
you're
up-
the problem with boxing.
He came
because
up
soon
in
as
the
somebody
air.
gets one loss,
he
they're
came,
no good.
No, he came
you're
up
a problem.
in the air with the middleweights. It wasn't a good middleweight air.
You can't help what air you come up with, Jim.
No, but
so what?
He didn't have to reach down for guys 15 pounds
They
lighter
wanted
to
to come
bring him
up and
up.
fight
That's how he made
Marvelous
his
Marvin
name.
He
Hagler.
fought Duran. He fought
Durant,
Leonard. He
Sugar
fought
Ray,
Hearns.
They were
he
little
fought
guys. They weren't
Antifermo.
middleweights.
He
When they fought
names.
him, they were at the weight they needed
No,
to
they
be
had
at.
to-
I don't care, Jim. You're not going to
They
slander
had
this
to.
man.
They had to eat Novocaine or whatever that
Oval-
stuff is.
Ovaltine,
Ovaltine to get their weight up.
That's one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in
Did
my
he ever?
life.
Did
And
he
you
ever
would've
go
put
up
it
to
down.
fight
I don't
somebody?
want to hear that.
Why didn't he
He
fight a
didn't
light
have to.
heavyweight?
He didn't
No,
have to.
he dragged these
You
guys
always,
from
what do you
lightweight up.
always
He
say?
was a
I'm
middleweight.
gonna
That's what he
expose
walked-
you on this, Jim. What do you always say? He should have stayed there and become legendary
Yeah.
and be the best
Yeah.
at that weight class.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
what he did.
But
You
that's,
did.
still
that's
slander
the
we
him.
hear.
weight that Hagler was even out of the ring.
Exactly.
He never changed.
How you slander him?
He
He
was
did
always the
exactly
same.
what you always say. He should have stayed there and been the greatest
I
cruiserweight.
see
He did that.
I see it. He made his name on fighting guys 15 to 20 pounds.
No, he
lighter
made
than
his
him.
name on fighting whoever
Name
was at
somebody
that
other
weight.
than Duran,
It doesn't
Leonard,
matter.
Hagler,
He fought
and
who was
Magombo.
available. He fought who was available, Jim. I don't want to hear that, Jim. Great fight, greatest 3 rounds in the history of boxing.
We got to go to our popular segment, the mailbag. Please continue to send your
I
great
love Vito
questions
Antuofermo.
and comments to boxingmailbag@yahoo.com and on my show, the
That's
Claudio
a
Rossano
great,
Show.
great 3 rounds.
Jim and Luther, why are the undercards bad anymore on pay-per-views? When he said, this is David from Hamilton, Canada, Ontario. When he was growing up, the undercards were good on pay-per-views. Now, not so much. Luther?
Well, Don King's not putting on these pay-per-views. His cards were stacked. But also, the main fighters are making so much money,
Right.
they
They
get
dry it
little
up.
they get little fillers, and
Right.
you get terrible fights on the undercard.
Jim?
If in doubt, grab you one of them great heavyweights and put it on the undercard. Heavyweights always sell.
All right. This is a comment from Jonathan from Pennsylvania. I heard you guys on many shows back talk about overrated and underrated fighters. Could you guys revisit that on an episode and have a list of fighters and say, is this guy overrated or underrated? Of course. We'll do whatever.
Hagler, overrated.
Yeah,
This is Jonathan from Pennsylvania. We
Jim
will
just
definitely
likes to
do that.
slander everybody.
We will definitely do that. All three. Robert, Pittsburgh. Do you think Pittsburgh will
Robert.
ever host a major boxing event? We've been asked this before. We have the venues, we have the hotels, we have the casinos, we have the amenities. As a matter of fact, I think you guys should try to initiate it somehow. Well, we are the voice of boxing in Pittsburgh. We do have the venues. And not only that, we do have the casinos and the hotels and the strip district and the cultural center. There's no reason why Pittsburgh couldn't sell out a big-time fight.
Yeah, you're right, and we just have to get a
Why is
big-
Dallas, but not here?
Yeah, we got to get a big-time fighter from this area to really step up. We haven't had that since maybe Paul Spadafore.
We got Jake Paul from Cleveland. He can
But
do
don't
it.
you think
But
a
he's not
main
doing it
fighter
in Cleveland. He's doing it, all other places.
would Spence,
Vegas.
would Spence Crawford pack it here?
Oh, definitely they
That's what I'm
pack it
saying.
here. But
Do you
with the
think?
money be here. we
I-
need a local guy to bring
Spence
it
could
out.
walk around Monroeville when nobody knows
Oh,
who he is.
here you,
Well,
he just had $50,000.
He might be right.
But not
That's,
one person
that's what I
knowing
mean
him.
by
That's,
crossover.
that's marketing.
He's right. That's what I mean by crossover.
The biggest
Do
fight in
people in
boxing-
Monroeville know who he is?
The biggest fight in boxing is Spence Crawford right now.
All right.
Not just the boxing guys like us, other people know it as well.
But how will Monroeville? Will they
Fantasy-
view it on
fantasy
pay-per-view?
boxing.
How many
You're the
people from
fantasy-
Monroeville?
Monroeville's in a league of their own. They don't know what's going on. They haven't won a championship in a while. So
Oh, man.
they're known for
As
losing.
always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.